Dear viewers and subscribers, welcome again to our YouTube channel Max the Service. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive all notifications regarding any video we are uploading on this channel. Hi guys, welcome again to our YouTube channel Max the Service. Here we are going to start with part 6, our DevOps series, and let me recall what we have covered, what we have done. All the session we have covered with programming language, and here we have been using Java as a core language, and for front end we are going with Angular, and then we also using some kind of basic languages like JavaScript, HTML, CSS wherever is possible. And then we have chosen operating system which is Windows and Ubuntu. So I have been doing some installation kind of configuration wherever I need to complete this DevOps series. I have been using operating system both Windows and Ubuntu. So then we also covered basic CMD commands. Okay, actually we have to have knowledge of all the commands used with command line interface. So we have presented many session how to do with Windows and how to do with Ubuntu. All the commands I have been presented with example. You can search Maxi Service on YouTube and go for this session. Then we also covered version control system, which is GitHub. Okay, for that we have chosen GitHub because GitHub is most commonly used GitHub version control system, where we have all the repositories, all the project. There you can clone, you can pull, push, and you can do your own practice, and you can also raise some concern if you have. You can ask any improvement or whatever you are required there. So for container management, I have went with the Docker at the moment. Definitely later on we will be working with the Kubernetes and rest of. So for Dockerization and container management, I have presented a lot of sessions where I have completed all the commands, all the basic knowledge, setup, configuration, how to do, where to do, everything I have covered apart from Docker Swarm. So you can also go and watch all the session there. And today we have what is and how to set up X. So X is actually our uh, uh, proxy server. So we have chosen Nginx, all the use cases, all the scenarios, roles, features. I will also present architecture diagram and explain how the components of Nginx works. And definitely we will be enjoying and learning a lot. So let's start with Nginx. So guys, in this session we will be going one by one. Here is the table of content, Nginx outline. I will be discussing one by one. First of all, I will go through the what is Nginx, either is it open source or paid, which protocol it can be used, so what are the reliability, websites and kind of application it supports. So after that we will also be discussing use cases of Nginx, in which cases we can adopt Nginx, like if you want to have a web server, we can also consider Nginx for proxies, either it is a forward or uh, reverse proxy. Can we choose Nginx, how can we set up and utilize this web server. And for load balancing we will also discuss, and we will also be doing some practice how to use Nginx as a load balancer. If we need SSL TLS termination for secure socket layer or transport layer security, we either we can use Nginx or not. So I will be presenting, and with example I will be presenting you in a session. We will also be using another use case is caching. So either we can use Nginx for caching or not. We will also be discussing this feature as well. And apart from it, for web acceleration, to absorb and to perform with quickly static handling a large amount of concurrence connections, any resource utilization, either we can use or not. So we will be also discussing like this. Another use case, most of the time we use API gateway. So we will also be doing some practical example how to use Nginx with API gateway. If we have architecture like microservices architecture, then how we can implement all those architecture implementation with Nginx, we will also be discussing with some examples, because we have been working with different services, and those services how to communicate with each other, and how the client can communicate with those service with API gateway, and how can those services can be utilized with Nginx. So after that, we have CDN, content delivery network, how we can use that utilization of CDN as well. I will be presenting you how to access those content on your CDN, content delivery network. So how we can access and utilize those contents with Nginx web server. We will also be discussing security and access control, how we can implement and utilize security, and how we can manage access control with Nginx. We have also another use case like WebSocket, how we can work with WebSockets. It also, I believe, provide WebSocket support, allowing it to handle a real-time connection between clients and servers over single or long-lived connections. So we will be discussing this as well. We will now also be discussing, I will be presenting you practically with the source code, where I have been presenting you, where we are having our source code on GitHub, and I have been sharing with you all those repositories link. And then after that, like web acceleration, we will be discussing application acceleration, how we can execute acceleration with for deployment of application on Nginx. Can we use proxy server for email? So we will be also doing some practical example. After that, we will be running Nginx as a container. So we will be using Docker engine for containerization of Nginx. So after that, we will be discussing, and I will be presenting you features of Nginx, like how we can perform high performance reverse proxy, load balancing, SSL TLS, caching, web acceleration, HTTP2 support, WebSocket, security features, access control, dynamic move module support, logging and monitoring. We will also be having logging of the application, and we will be using Nginx for monitoring those application. How we will be having some configuration, how it is providing easy configuration Nginx. So I will be discussing high availability and redundancy feature with this tutorial. After that, we'll be discussing Docker and containerization, as we have discussed. So we will also be discussing workflow of Nginx. So workflow, under workflow of Nginx, what is installation? First we will be doing some installation, then I will be showing you configurations, so then I will be define some server blocks, then we have locations, because we can configure location within server blocks to define how Nginx should handle different type of request, including static or dynamic or application specific endpoint. So apart from reverse proxy setup, we will be doing this like load balancing, SSL TLS configuration, caching, monitoring, logging, security setting, testing, restart or reload, how we can restart and reload, what is the difference with restart and reload of Nginx. So scaling with high availability and ongoing maintenance. So after that, we will be discussing like Nginx works and architecture, how the Nginx architecture works. I will be presenting all the components being interaction with each other, and the responsibility and role of each component within Nginx architecture. because the core principle of Nginx architecture, like it is event driven based, non-blocking to handle multiple connection efficiently, like master worker model, modular design, and lightweight and efficient. So we'll be discussing how these features principles works with Nginx architecture. In workflow, how client request and how the it listen to the socket, and how worker process start processing, and how the request is being processed, and how the Nginx server response. I will also show you how this workflow works. In architecture, we will be discussing like master processes, worker processes, modules, and key benefit like high performance, scalability, apart from stability, security, and flexibility. So all those use cases like web server, reverse proxy, load balance, mail proxy, we will be covering in this series. So for installation and configuration in Nginx, I will be presenting how to install on Ubuntu and also on Windows, and how we can use Microsoft Windows, and also I will be using some common configuration like how we can edit configuration file, how we can define server blocks, setting up virtual host, enable modules, testing configuration, reload and restart Nginx. So after that, I will be presenting you step-by-step guide for setting up Nginx. I will presenting you basic configuration, setting of server blocks, how to serve static contents, testing of all these, and verification, and also I will present you some bonus tips. So I hope you will be enjoying, and I will be presenting you as much as possible. So please stay tuned and subscribe my channel if you have not, and also like and set your comments so that I can understand what you are feeling, what you are understanding, what you want to learn, so that I can improve on that level what you are expecting. So let's start with the introduction. Its first content, what is Nginx? Actually, Nginx is a popular open source web server and reverse proxy server that also functions as a load balancer, HTTP cache, and web accelerator. For its high performance, scalability, and reliability, Nginx is widely used to serve static content, handle dynamic content, and improve the performance and reliability of websites and web applications. So if I concise this definition, you can use Nginx as a web server, and you can also use the feature of like load balancing. If you have microservice architecture, you can balance your load of requests from the client, so that this Nginx can help you to route the coming request to the different services. If let's suppose if one service is having 100 of requests and another service is also available, it's responsibility of Nginx to balance that load. Also it supports HTTP cache, where you have number of HTTP requests, and it will not remake again the same content of same request. It will cache what the data you are getting from through HTTP request. It will make it fast, and also due to high acceleration, it's a performance web acceleration. It's also provide a CDN content delivery network for fast content delivery. We are loading of your websites, it make very fast. So next content is what is top use case of Nginx. So we will be discussing what are the top use cases. First use case, whenever we need web server, we can consider Nginx as a web server where we can deploy our application. And the actually web server what actually do, one of the primary use case Nginx is serving as a web server. It efficiently handles static content such as HTML, CSS, and images, delivering it to clients quickly and effectively. It's mean most of the time we deploy static websites on web server, where we have static content like some contents we have on CDN, some content we have on over on cloud file system. So we can utilize Nginx as a web server for these purposes. In this example, you can see that different clients are communicating with Nginx, and Nginx is further communicating with servers to access the resource. Then we have another top use case of Nginx, which is proxy server. Okay, here you can see that we can use it as a forward proxy and reverse proxy. When we configure Nginx as a forward proxy, it sits between the client and the internet. First request goes to Nginx, where we configure where to forward request. I mean, which website we can allow to be accessed by client whenever it comes to our virtual private network. Any request landing on the network, it will first hit our proxy server, and our proxy server will check, okay, this client is allowed where it can forward on the internet. Then that request will be forwarded to the internet, and then from internet our servers will be accessible. And another use case is reverse proxy, where first request land on the internet, and then from internet it forwarded to the reverse proxy. Actually, in reverse proxy we can configure which our server should be accessible by the internet. So these configuration also can be done and provided by Nginx, which are very useful and most commonly used. Another major top use case of Nginx is load balancer. How it works, let me explain. If we talk about load balancing, if we configure Nginx as a load balancer, it is very good option to have. Let's suppose we have client 1, 2 and 3. There are 3 clients. You may have more than 3 clients, as well as you can have one client as well, and you have more than one services as well. Here you may have one or more services as well. So whenever you configure Nginx as a load balancer, any request landing on the Nginx, it will decide, okay, this request where to go, either server 1, 2 or 3. Actually it will decide. Okay, if there are already load on this server, okay, because these are server with same services deployed. Let's suppose you have a login service and there are number of users trying to log in, and this service is really have a number of request load and very busy. Then it's a, work of Nginx. It will help us. It will route this second request to the second login service. Okay, this is very great and useful benefit. You don't, a client never see, okay, there is down anything if you have deployed website and that is down, or having lot of time to log in. So this is another benefit of load balancing. Actually load balancing is used mostly with microservice architecture. If we have more than one services deployed on different services, let's suppose one service is deployed on UK and second service is deployed in Pakistan and third service is deployed in USA, then anyone from USA, okay, it will be trying to log in, and Nginx will route this request to then this USA server. Okay, it will be more efficient and close. It will decrease the latency. Okay, so this is the benefit overall. We will be discussing load balancer Nginx with some example when we deploy and we deploy our application, and we will be doing all of this with the example. So please be connected, stay tuned, keep watching all the videos on Maxi service. Another very important and top use case of Nginx is SSL TLS termination. SSL secures socket layer and transport layer security. So how we can terminate at the level of proxy server, let me show you the diagram. In this diagram you can simply see that your computer, then we have internet, then you can set Nginx as a reverse proxy, load balancer, whatever. These are the separate benefits just highlighted. And then we have web server. Okay, so Nginx, what actually doing, it is doing another job of encryption and decryption. Let's suppose you don't want to do any encryption and don't want to load this processing on your actual server, then Nginx is here to do all of this. Any request from your computer through internet, it is HTTPS secure, and it is encrypted because you have provided public key. If with that public key any client can connect with you if that have your provided public key. And then it is responsibility of Nginx to encrypt and then decrypt and communicate with your web server HTTP, simple hypertext transfer protocol, instead of secure. So once respond from web server HTTP, then again it's encrypt and send it back to your computer. So it's another benefit where you can use this Nginx server for encryption and decryption, and you can configure your security layer here instead of doing all of this on your application server. So another top use case of Nginx is caching, which is most commonly used in any application, web application, enterprise level application, because we use cache for getting most frequent information like validation, or having some information like when user login and get role and responsibility of that user. Also we can validate credential very frequently, and we can get any data already cached instead of getting all those data from the database which is already available in cache. So in this diagram I will show you how cache works with Nginx. Here in diagram you can see that you simply can see here is your computer. Okay, and from here you are going to request your server. So if this server is not as a cache, okay, then every request will be going to your actual web server, and definitely when every request will be going to web server, it will set some load, and you may have face some loading problem, performance problem issues. So to overcome this issue, we have proxy caching server, which is Nginx. Nginx also provide us the benefit where we can cache our some material, like if you are going to log in and you need to have some data about your roles and responsibility, then you, instead of having request to web server and then your web server having request to your database to get all those data, you can cache all those data and simply you can respond. And it's also see if the same request is again and again and that data is available as a cache, then instead of going to web server, it will responding to client, mean you, very quickly. So it will also improve the performance, and you can add like some kind of active directory, we can have some material here. So all those which can be used as a cache, you can use Nginx as a cache server. Guys, in a nowadays era of microservice level architecture development and designing, the important top use case is API gateway. Nginx can be used as an API gateway to manage and secure API traffic, so that you can manage any traffic from internet, and also you can secure, you can also do authentication. It can handle tasks such as request routing. It's mean you can route your request to any service, or you can also block. You can also set rate limit, and rate limiting mean you can set parameter where request cannot be more than given parameter to for specific services. And you can do also authentication and also load balancing for backend API servers. So please don't mess with load balancing with API gateway. Load balancing is a feature of API gateway. So in this diagram let me show you how API gateway works. In this diagram, you can see we have one application or service in Python and another is Go. But we have configured Nginx as a API gateway. Okay. So any request from Python or from Go, these are the application. It can be any client. So any request landing on this API gateway, which is Nginx, it will decide. It will also do some kind of authentication. We can also draw here. We can ask this Nginx, please do authentication. If the request is authenticated, then it will be forwarded to any required service, because all the configuration already being set with API gateway. Okay, if any request is coming from this service, it should be routed to this. After, we can also do authentication. We can also do authentication within a service. So best ways to have this centralized authentication with the help of this API gateway. Any API gateway you can use. We have also another technology Kong, also providing API gateway and features. So this is the like a watchman. If a watchman is outside of your college or university, and that someone is go to that watchman and request, okay, I have to see someone uh, in that library, then this API gateway must know, this watchman must know how I can send this person to where, because this only knows how to send and where to send. Even if there is a unknown person, this API gateway will restrict that person to move it back with some bad parameter or bad gateway, whatever. It will be responding according to configuration. So this is simple mechanism, a very important mechanism in nowadays era of microservice architecture. So this was another important feature of Nginx web server API gateway. Apart from API gateway, another top use case of Nginx is very important content delivery network. What is it? Nginx is utilized in building content delivery networks to distribute content across multiple servers and geographical location. These CDNs improve content delivery speed by caching content closer to end users. What does it mean? Let me show you in the diagram. In this diagram, you can see we have original server, which can be any web server, even though you can also use another Nginx server. But the concept of CDN node is, this is actually your Nginx server. Okay, here you can see, if you have application running in Saudi Arabia, okay, you are in Saudi Arabia, and someone accessing your application, okay, this is Saudi Arabia, and someone accessing your application from Europe, like Italy, okay. Let's suppose if someone is going to access his photos, even though if you are on Facebook and opening your profile, definitely when you will be opening your profile, all the contents will be loaded frequently. So do you realize how it becomes very quickly, how the performance can be achieved? You can view quickly your content wherever you are. So actually Facebook is a managed CDN, content delivery network. They have provided another server in the Italy, which also have all the shared resources, static contents, which are not going to be changed over the time. So you will be able, any member in the Italy will be able to have quickly all those content to be loaded, and you can see. So same example goes if you are in England, definitely you have another CDN. It will not go and see, okay, it will ask server, or it will be going to this single in Saudi Arabia, okay, let me load all these contents, and it will take some time, maybe 2, 3, 4 seconds, but within a second you will be able to have all those contents at your location. So this is the concept of CDN. Another important use cases of Nginx is proxy, where we can use as a proxy forward proxy and reverse proxy. So I will be again explaining you with diagram. So here you can go. Very major top use cases of Nginx is forward and reverse proxy. What is the different with forward and reverse proxy, you can see here we have same diagram. Within this diagram I will be able to explain forward and reverse proxy, and I believe you will never forget. Remember that when you need forward proxy, you must have internet, your proxy server before internet, because you are going to forward your request to the internet. Any client will hit first you. This will be your VPN, virtual private network. Okay, any request coming from client, it will be joining your private network virtually, and this your virtual private network will decide, okay, either this user should be able to access internet or not. Sometime when you are working with your organization and you see that some website you will not be able to open, those are not allowed. Why? Because you are not going providing access to the internet, but some websites, some resources, some features you can access, that is because of this forward proxy. And then after that you can access internet, and your internet, allowed internet, will be doing any request to your original server. This server, your server can be any. Let's suppose you have an organization and you have one server which is accessible through internet, but only those users can access this server for authentication. Definitely this proxy server will identify, it will validate, okay, either you are as organization's member, then it will allow you to have access, because this authentication server you can place anywhere in the internet. Okay, another example of Nginx is reverse proxy, which is most commonly used. Any request coming through the internet, okay, your server will decide, your reverse proxy will decide, should I reverse it or not? Should I allow it to access our original server or not? Mean anyone can have access to internet, but it will be only uh, available, this server only, which I will allow. So between your original server and internet, if you are going to configure your proxy server, that will be reverse proxy. If it is between internet and your client, then it will be forward proxy. So this is a simple concept you have to remember. Apart from it, there are a lot of benefits, like in microservice architecture. We can use in microservice architecture, Nginx is often employed as a reverse proxy or load balancer to manage communication between microservices. It provides a unified entry point for client requests and routes then to the appropriate microservices. And another main important benefit, security and access control. It also allow us to, for the security and access control, such as we can do whitelisting of IP, we can set rate limiting, and the ability of block malicious requests. It help protect web application from common security threats as well. So WebSocket support also provided by Nginx. Nginx provide WebSocket supports, allowing it to handle real-time communication between clients and servers over a single long-lived connection. This is crucial for applications that require bi-directional communication. So WebSocket also supported by Nginx. Please remember. High availability and redundancy, it can be achieved by setting up the multiple instances or as part of cluster to ensure redundancy and fault tolerance. This also makes it comfortable for mission critical application as well. So for application acceleration, Nginx can accelerate application performance by serving as a front-end proxy for application servers, optimizing the delivery of dynamic content and reducing latency. So we can also use it as a, which can act as a proxy server for mail protocols like IMAP, POP3 and SMTP, helping distribute the balanced mail traffic across backend mail servers. So another last but not least, Nginx is commonly used in conjunction with Docker and container orchestration platforms like Kubernetes. It serves as a reverse proxy and load balancer for containerized applications, facilitate deployment and scaling. We discussed in detail the top use cases of Nginx, where we discussed how it works as a web server, when we need proxy server, how to use this, and what features we can use like forward and reverse proxy. We also learned how to use as a load balancer. It also provide us SSL TLS termination facility. We can also use Nginx for caching, for web acceleration, API gateway, which is more important part of the use case of Nginx. We also discuss microservice architecture, how we can use Nginx in the era of microservices architecture. We also learn how it works with CDN. We also learn how it works with security and access control. We also discuss in last session how WebSocket supports within this Nginx, and also we discuss a lot of other use cases. So today we will be discussing on the architecture and workflow. So today we will discuss how Nginx works and how the architecture is designed, so that I would be able to explain you about its component, how these components interact with each other and works. So let's start. Here in this architecture diagram, if we try to understand the workflow and core principle, how the component works with each other, whenever you will be receiving any request from client, first of all it will have a master process, okay, where master worker model, it will create more than one worker process, okay. This master process have three worker process. So whenever we made a request to any resource to access or to any web services, so there must be a Nginx to handle it, okay. So when a client made a request from browser, it went to the Nginx first. If you have already installed and configured the master process, what the actual uh, responsibility of master process is, it manages worker processes. All these worker processes will be managed by this master process, okay. And also another thing is, it will reload and review configuration. It will see, okay, if there is configured everything what the request is coming from, so it will allow, and it will ask open listen sockets and bind to ports, okay. It will see, okay, if there is HTTP, definitely it will check, okay, if there is available port 8080, and then it will create connection. If it is HTTPS, then it will again create 445, another port which is secure. So this, the purpose of master process is to listen and open connection with the available port. It also reload the configuration when we have configuration available. It also, let's suppose you have change configuration, the responsibility of master process is to reload the configuration. What do worker process? It receives the request, and their responsibility is to process the request, okay. They see, okay, if there is anything be fetching file or resources or from cache or any other web server, we have to connect its responsibility of worker process, okay. These worker processes handle actual client request, parse request, access resources, and response, okay, compose response, whatever response is required by client, okay. Then use caching or other modules to optimize the performance as well. So they, after processing the request, okay, they respond back to the client, okay. And we have another thing which is modular approach. Actually Nginx extend cache, like you have loader. You can also use Nginx without this cache module. You can also use Nginx without API gateway, without load balancer. You can also extend, and you can also use without all these modules. So this is the core architecture and component I have explained you. This is very simple. So in next section we will start working setting up Nginx. We will be installing Nginx and we will start configuring and utilizing that one. So we have covered also all the course outline we have discussed, and we also have discussed in previous session all top use cases. So now it's time to get in practical. So in next session we will be doing everything. I will be proving everything practically. Here you can see core principles. It is event driven, where it user non-blocking, mean any number of requests coming to Nginx from client, it is going to handle it. It is not blocking any request, because it will be creating new connection and opening port for that particular protocol, and with the help of master process, it will creating further more processes and allowing to process the request. It also a master work model, where one master process oversees worker processes that handle actual request. And modular design. Modular design, what does it mean? It means pluggable modules, where you can extend functionality like caching, load balancing, etc. So it is lightweight and efficient. It also consumes minimal resources, making it deal for high traffic websites. So today we will be discussing in detail how to install and configure Nginx on different operating system. So here is the detail. Let me first show you how we can start working with the Nginx. If we have different operating system, here you can see that first of all we have Ubuntu Debian, where you can see that first of all we have to update the package list. Okay, because this sudo apt update, it upgrade and updates all the packages softwares you already have, so that when you go for other installation, that would be on the latest updates. So then you have to install Nginx, sudo apt install Nginx. Then you can check systemctl status Nginx, either it is running or not, and you can, if it is running, then you can just ping http localhost in your browser, and then you will be able to see if it is running. Other than this, I will show you how to start if it is not running after installation. So in second, CentOS, Red Hat Linux, the same already we have. It is almost similar, but here just you need to run sudo yum install epel release. So okay, it will all update the releases and install mandatory softwares. Okay, then you can just sudo yum install Nginx, and then again you will running the command systemctl system control start Nginx and sudo system control enable Nginx. Then you will be able to see, you can just ping localhost in your browser, and you will be able to see the Nginx running. Okay, then again you will be having configuration file you can find on the Red Hat Linux, and then we have Mac operating system. Okay, you can do Google, otherwise you can just start with brew install Nginx. Then you will be running below command brew services start Nginx and brew services enable Nginx. Actually enabling Nginx, it will sometime your firewall don't allow to start the services. First you have to enable this, and again you will be having configuration file under user local etc and Nginx. Then we will be having Windows. On Windows, first of all you have to download the binary file as usual, which will be nginx.exe. After that you will start installation, and then you can find your configuration file nginx.cn config, and you can also configure a server block. You can set up your virtual host, enable modules where you can enable cache, SSL, whatever you want. Then you can also test configuration, like let's suppose you have modified some configuration file, and you are not sure that either configuration are correct or not. Then just you will be running the command nginx -t. It will show you if there is any error or not on your configuration file. So you can also reload your command like nginx minus s or restart nginx systemctl restart nginx. Okay, these were the instruction, basic instruction. Whatever you have operating system, you can start with it. In next session, we will be configuring and installing Nginx on Linux Ubuntu. So please be connected and stay tuned. Keep watching Max the Service YouTube channel and also share your comments so that we can improve wherever you want. We have gone through all the common session we can follow on different operating system, how to install and set up Nginx. I have provided you the steps which we can follow, all the common instruction and installation steps. And now today we will be starting from Ubuntu Linux, and here is the instruction and video you can watch how we can configure install on Ubuntu Linux. Okay guys, to start installation and configuration Nginx on Linux, I have Ubuntu installed on my Windows machine, and I am starting installation of it. First of all, we have to uh, check sudo update, sudo apt update, because I will be following last commands I have shared in previous previous session. So here you can see it is updating all the latest packages. Now I will go with the installation apt install nginx. Okay. Okay, it is saying that it is Nginx already newest version. So because by executing this command, it will check if it is not with latest version, it will upgrade, otherwise it will not install. So because we have already installed on this machine, and for that I have to check the status of my Nginx. So for that I have to write sudo status, sorry, system ctl control status and nginx. Okay, great. It is already running. So one another important thing which you have to check, that is you have to check the status of your firewall. Okay, for that you can just write system ctl or you can sudo ufw and status. Okay, here you can see sometime you, as you can see, nginx full is deny, nginx full version 6 also deny, and other as allow. So for that you can just write sudo ufw app list. Okay, here you have to allow all of these options. So how you can do this, you can just write sudo ufw and allow, you can write nginx full. Okay, rule updated, and now you can go back and check that that will be updated status. Here you can see that nginx full is allow. So now because you already have installed and it is running, we have seen that. Now we can check on the browser. To check this, we will just be writing localhost, and here you can see it is running. Hello Maxi service. So now we have to go into detail, we will be doing some kind of configuration. So let me show you where we can start configuration. Actually you have configuration file on the location of cd etc nginx nginx dot conf. Okay, to view this we will be write vim command, and here I can show you. Okay guys, this is the configuration file. where we can configure different kind of parameters. I will show you in next session how to configure all the directives, events, all the blocks in this configuration file one by one. So stay tuned and be connected with Max the Service channel. So we have done how to install Nginx on Ubuntu. I showed you all the challenges we faced mostly. The one main challenge we face when we install on Nginx on Windows or any operating system, we have to check some firewall options to be allowed. And I also showed you commands how you can enable any option, any port you can open. And today let's start how to install Nginx on Windows. Okay guys, to start installation of Nginx. Okay guys, to start installation of Nginx on Windows, first of all we will go on Nginx website, nginx.com, sorry, .org. org. Here we will be finding downloads, and we will see that which version we want to download. So stable version is this is, and here you can download. After download you must extract. Okay, after extraction you will find here and extract it. Now you will just double click. It will ask you to, okay, more info, run anyway. Actually this is the option where firewall asking to allow this application to be installed and accessible in future use. To allow this, okay guys, after installation you will see, after extraction and installation I provide you all the commands, then you will be open cmd, and here you will be checking Nginx version, which version we have installed. And also you can start your Nginx server with start Nginx command, or you can just write nginx.exe. First of all you will check either your Nginx server is started or not. Okay, it is started. In case it is not started, then you can do these commands. So I hope you have enjoyed this session, and in next session, that will be very important, we will be starting Nginx as a Docker container. So we will be working with Docker container, how we can build image of Nginx and how we can run that image as a doc container. How to install and set up Nginx or Windows. Just you have downloaded and extracted off and double click, then you get installed, and just you have to need to allow firewall option to be allowed. So now we will be running this Nginx image as a container or Docker. So let's start. How to run Nginx in a Docker container, because we will first download image from Docker Hub, because we don't want to build Nginx image because it's open source and available on Docker Hub. Here what things you need to do, here you can see we have a number of images. Okay, and from Docker Hub we will be downloading Nginx from Docker Hub. Okay, to do so you must be running your Docker desktop, because you must running this to run image download and run that image as a container. And another thing, you can also do the same thing with the Ubuntu. So commands will be almost similar, because I am running Docker desktop in WSL, Windows subscription for Linux mode. So on both, here I can show you, if I run the same command docker images, here you can see all these images are available, whatever we have images available in Docker Hub. And same images we can also check in our runtime development environment Docker images. Here you can see all the images available. I am doing all of this in development environment mode with VS Code, so that most of the developer do within a development mode. So there is DevOps responsibility to do all of these things in console on Linux environment, but same command will be used because we are using Docker commands and those are platform independent. Because Nginx is open source web server, as we have discussed in past few sessions, which is used to serve dynamic and static contents, reverse proxy, load balancing, and other HTTP proxy server capabilities. We will be doing all of these in practice, but as you have seen that I am going step by step so that you can learn complete Nginx with all video session. Docker is also open source containerization tool, and now we are going to, first of all, we will be downloading image of Nginx. Here you will be seeing. First of all, I will run command docker uh, pull Nginx. It will download the Nginx image from the Docker Hub, and it will available for us in the Docker desktop environment. And then we will be running this image as a container. First let it download, and then we will be running this image as a container. So these are the very basic and simple steps, and I will be showing you. So let it be download first. Remember that you must have installed on, if you are using Windows, you must have installed on it Docker desktop, because that is a Docker engine should be running. So sometime you stop your Docker desktop and it start not working, so it get confused. You also need to log in your environment. So I am here log in with the Nginx service profile. So it is downloaded. You can see pull is complete, and now I will be running command docker images. First okay, great. Here you can see it is available latest version 5 weeks ago on Docker Hub, and now I have downloaded, it is available. Let me show you this as well. If I refresh, here you will be able to see this Nginx latest available. Okay, and now what other command I will be doing, because I will be running this image as a container on this Docker desktop, Docker environment. So for that I will run docker run. Actually run command is used to create a new container, and I want to name this container as docker Nginx. We also need to provide the port 8080. So first port is which will be accessible, and second port is export by container. So with if you want to connect with container with 80, if let's suppose you want to expose container port 85, then you will be writing 85. And now I am going to provide 8080 on both sides. So again, after this, what next command is to just provide the image name. What is image name? Nginx. Okay, after this you will just hit enter, and it will be starting working start. Okay, so because it is running in not in detached mode, if I will provide the flag with the -d, then it will be running in detached mode. I can start working, I can execute other command within a same console. So for that, definitely I will be running another console. to just verify. Okay, and in the meanwhile let me check docker psa dash a. Okay, it will be showing us all the running container. Here you can see that we have running container docker nginx, and let me show you on the docker desktop environment. Here is your running container with port 8080. So if I want to access this portal, then I will just be adding localhost in the browser, local host, nothing else, and it will be available for me. Hello max the service, welcome to nginx. Nginx is running with the. Now if I want to change the uh, uh, anything content in the running image, running container, I can do this. Another command is to just, if you want to remove your container, you can also remove, and you can also run this container in detached mode. Okay, so for removing container I will be just running docker rm docker nginx. Cannot remove this before removing the force, so I will be using force command. Okay, it will be not available. Okay, after removing after now you can see that we have removed forcefully this container, and let's see, we can check, but image should be available there. Docker images, here you can see nginx images available, but if I go to docker uh, ps to show, there is no any container running with that this name. Okay, so let me clear it. Now I will be running this container with detached mode, so only what command I will be providing, doc same command but a little bit difference, name docker nginx dash p 80 colon 80 minus d nginx. Now you can see that you can also run other commands, and your docker nginx container is running. To check container either it is available or not, we will be just writing, here you can see hello maxi server, welcome to nginx. Okay, here I can also run another command because I run it as uh, detached mode, and we can also stop this container with the command of docker stop docker nginx. After stopping this, we also have to check either it is available or not. Here you can see it gone. Okay, no more available. Okay, the next command, you have seen that we can also remove this container, and you can remove this image with the command docker rmi, and the image name or image id. So before removing this, I want to show you some more commands. Actually I want to show you how we can build web page to serve nginx. So to serve the web page, just I will make directory. Okay, mkdir. Let's suppose I'm going to make the directory in document. Let's suppose it is html. Okay, html available, and just I will be moving on into cd users users, yes, HP document HTML. Okay, I will be moving into this directory. Then I will be creating one file. Okay, let's build a web page to serve this Nginx we have running on the uh, uh, this Docker environment. So first of all, we have to create. Okay, the command is the same command we will be running, like docker run name docker nginx port 8080 detached mode, so that we can also run rest of command on the same environment, CLI. So then where we have uh, created index.html file, then we have to provide that name, which is C document, sorry, let me check, it is C users HP users HP, and then what is again document and under document it is HTML, I guess. Okay, so here we have the directory of where we have HTML. Okay, under HTML we have index dot, and then we have to provide the colon, and then where is Nginx is running, we have to provide. Now if we will be running, let's see what happened. Okay, great. So it is running, and let's see, it is, yeah, great. Here you can see hello maxi service, we have added the index file, and now it is connected to volume. It is actually pointing to our new file. So whatever we will be doing changes, it will be accessing that volume. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. We have run Nginx as a Docker container, and we also see how we can attach our local file as a volume pointing to the directory with Nginx. And in next session we will be going through all the configuration, the Nginx configuration file one by one. I will be changing some, I will be doing some changes in the file, and I will showing you how it is impacting on the running environment. Okay, thank you, bye. Okay, please subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed yet, and also do like, share in your circle these videos, and also provide your valuable comments. And I hope you will be liking and sharing, so that I will be continuing with rest of the technologies and tools sharing with you. Thanks.